Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the judges of the 23rd Judicial Circuit, I would like to welcome you to this wonderful occasion. It is my honor and privilege to introduce the honored guests that we have here today and to preside over the unveiling of the portrait of Judge Martha Lynn Sherrod. And I was speaking with someone and I said, you know, I want to say just a few things about her before I start introducing guests. She was my presiding judge on the district court bench when I first became a judge 12 years ago. And she doesn't talk about herself. And it wasn't until I started looking at her curriculum vitae, her resume, that I saw the number of accomplishments and honors that she has been given. And there's no way with the resume that she has that I can go through and list each and every one of them. But there are some notable accomplishments that just can't go unnoticed. Of course, she is a graduate of Fisk University and the University of Houston School of Law. Judge Sherrod was the first African American to win an at-large partisan election in North Alabama. She was the first African American municipal judge. She was the first African American assistant district attorney in our area. She was awarded the Rosa Parks Woman of Courage Award from the NAACP. She was awarded the Thurgood Marshall Award from the Judicial Council of the National Bar Association. She also received the President's Award from the National Bar Association. She received the Governor's Award for Judicial Conservation, the 2010 Community Service Award from the Women's Economic Council, the Medallion of Service from Alabama A&M University. And she developed, that's just a few, there are hundreds. She developed the first family drug court in the state of Alabama. She later added an adult drug court and a juvenile drug court to the specialty courts of Madison County, which continue today. And for those of you that thought she was going to rest after she retired, then you do not know her very well. She is currently a partner at the firm of Conchin, Cole & Jordan. She is a registered mediator. She and her husband, Eddie, Mr. Sherrod, I have to say Mr. Sherrod, attend church here in Huntsville at St. John AME Church. She is a member of the Epsilon Gamma Omega chapter, Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority. And of course, she is members of the various bar organizations. Along with me today, we have some guests, some honored guests that are going to be speaking. We have Mayor Tommy Battle, Lieutenant Governor Will Ainsworth, Speaker of the House Matt McCutcheon, Minority Leader of the House of Representatives Anthony Daniels, County Commission Chairman Dale Strong, Representative Laura Hall. We also have a representative from Senator Doug Jones' office. We have various city council members, judges. We have the Honorable Sam Givhan here with us as well. President and Mrs. Andrew Hughini Jr., President and First Lady of Alabama A&M University, and numerous others, and I apologize if I missed everyone. I tried to get you as we were coming in. So welcome to all of you, and I know that you will enjoy this ceremony and are, along with myself, so pleased for Judge Martha Lynn Sherrod. At this time, we're going to have Reverend Maurice Wright come and lead us in prayer.
Won't you bow as we pray? God of Jane Boland, Constance Baker Motley, God of Rosa Parks, God of Judge Martha Lynn Sherrod, God of our weary years, God of our silent tears, thou who hast brought us thus far on the way, we thank you for your goodness, your grace, and your mercy.
Eternal God, we thank you for giving us the strength to assemble at this time and place and for this occasion. Lord, for your servant, Judge Martha Lynn Sherrod, we thank you. You have blessed her and favored her, and for that we give you the honor. Thank you for allowing her light to shine before others, that they might see her good works. But Lord, today we all give you the glory. Thank you for crowning her with wisdom, understanding, and the determination to make a difference in the lives you have allowed her to touch.
God, as this portrait hangs as a testimony of what you can do, Lord, I ask that it would encourage and even inspire someone else to keep their trust in your ability to do the impossible. Father, as we seek to serve you and bless your name, we ask that you grant us faith and patience for this race. Keep ever on our mind what you require of us as we walk these mundane shores. God, help us to always act justly. Help us to love mercy. Help us to walk humbly with you. Be with us is our sincere prayer. Amen.
Judge Sherrod, after hearing all those great things about you, I think even more of you now than I did before I walked in here. To all of you, when you come into elected office, and I came into elected office about 12 years ago, when you come into elected office, you look for people out there who you want to emulate, people who are leaders and who are servant leaders. And I think I can safely say that when I came into office 12 years ago, Judge Sherrod was one of those people. She was that person that I looked to find guidance from. She was that person I looked to find out how to act. And she was that person I looked to make sure that I was acting in the right way. And there were many a times we had some conversations, and she pursed her lips a little bit at me a few times and told me that I might need to rethink some things, and we did rethink things. But as we went through that life of what the past 12 years has been, she is someone who has been what I would call truly a servant leader and someone that you want to follow. She's a mentor. And one time she invited me to come to her drug court for graduation. And you've had many a graduation, so you may not remember when I came, but when I came, I was so impressed because there were about 26 people who were graduated from there. And every one of them came up and they thanked Judge Sherrod. They thanked her for what she did for them. She gave them a second chance. She gave them a chance to be a person. She gave them a chance to go make a living. She gave them a chance to become a family member again. And if there's ever something that defines somebody in public office, it's somebody who gave somebody a second chance, gave them a chance to be a better person, and made them into a better person. And as each one of them came up, they would say thank you to her. And there were some that she said, good, I know that you're going to do well, and I'm looking forward to it. And there's some that she would look at and say, don't want to see you again. And they would very much take it to heart, because I don't think she did see them again. But to talk about somebody's heart and what somebody has done for our community is something special. And to be able to honor you today by putting up this, by putting your picture up here so we can remember you for all time is a great thing. But more than that is we remember you for all time for the heart that you've shown for this job and the heart that you've shown to the people of the city of Huntsville and for Madison County. Thank you, Judge Sherrod.
This time, representatives from Senator Doug Jones' office have a presentation that they would like to make.
Everyone, my name is Brantley Fry. I'm Senator Doug Jones' state director, and he very much regrets not being here today. He would love to be here to celebrate you, Judge Sherrod. Of course, the Senate is in session, so he's back in D.C., but he asked me to come and read this letter from him as we mark this great event. Dear Judge Sherrod, recognizing your lifetime of a commitment to a more just Alabama, I want to send my sincere congratulations today as you become the first African-American judge to be honored with a portrait in the Madison County Courthouse. I also send my best to your family, whose support and contributions have been immeasurable. I regret that I'm unable to be here today to celebrate with you, but several of my staff are in attendance on my behalf. Of course, I'm here, and then we have a few staffers back here from both the Huntsville office as well as the Montgomery offices. While this is certainly not your first time making history, it's a fitting tribute for your years of service to Alabama as district court judge, founder of Alabama's first family drug court, and numerous initiatives focused on serving juveniles in our criminal justice system. Your service is commendable in large part due to your dedication in using our justice system as a positive force to rehabilitate members of our community and to provide second chances. By doing so, you boldly led the way in rethinking our approach to criminal justice. Your portrait in the Madison County Courthouse will continue to serve as a reminder of your enduring legacy of equity, justice, and compassion, a legacy that will continue to inspire Alabamians for generations to come. Congratulations again on all that you've accomplished to earn this tremendous honor. I look forward to all that you will continue to contribute in our great state. Sincerely, Senator Doug Jones.
All right, good afternoon. Judge Sherrod, I just want to say, congratulations, and it's an honor to be here. It really is. And kind of wanted to go over a few things that have already been mentioned, and then I want to talk about one thing that you've had an impact on statewide that's just so impressive to me. We mentioned first African-American elected countywide in Madison County. Committed her life to public service in Madison County. Municipal judge, assistant district attorney, teaching of criminal justice at Alabama A&M, district judge, presiding judge of the drug court, member of the board of trustees at Alabama A&M, first African American to have their portrait hung in the Madison County Courthouse. What I want to talk to you about today is with the impact you've had statewide on people's lives that you might not even know through you were a visionary, you were a trailblazer, and through the work you did on the drug court and having the first drug court in this state and leading the way for other judges to follow you, I've met so many people across this state that's had a huge impact on their life because they didn't have to go to prison. They had a situation where they could get off of addiction. So I want to thank you on behalf of the state of Alabama for being a visionary, for being a trailblazer, and I can tell you there's hundreds of stories of people I've met across the state because of your hard work and the dedication and you actually leading on that you've impacted lives. So thank you so much on behalf of the whole state of Alabama. Thank you. Absolutely.
Good afternoon. It's certainly a day that I would always remember. Really following Judge Sherrod over a number of years during her time on the court and during my time at Alabama A&M, and really seeing you lead by example. Not only did you break down barriers of being the first African American in a number of categories, but you've done something, as the Lieutenant Governor mentioned, of the drug court. There are people all across the state, when we talk about criminal justice reform, prison reform, your name comes up all the time, of being the leader, the person that really grabbed the bull by the horn and was the person that was leading the charge and giving individuals a second chance at life. And so they gave me 1 minute, so I'll stick to that schedule. But I just want to let you know how impactful you've been on my life as a young politician who's just starting out in this. And I remember the conversations we had before I even ran for office, and you talk about leading with ethics and morals and having values. And I'll never forget that. And so thank you for being a part of my life and really being a part of the entire state of Alabama. Thank you.
It is an honor for me to stand before you today and just to say on behalf of that child whose picture isn't on anybody's dresses, but monsters are real. Thank you. Thank you because of the work that you did in drug court. I had the experience, Judge mayor of attending drug court too, and listening to her talk to those young people as they came through there and basically saying as if she was their mother, okay, I don't need to see you anymore. But I want to say thank you on behalf of those families, because I think that's the gratitude. And because of that gratitude that we all feel here today is because is why you're being honored. Thank you for your leadership. Thank you for your love. Thank you more than anything for being a person that believes and moves beyond yourself to make sure things get done. Thank you.
Judge Sherrod, you are truly someone special to put this many Republicans, Democrats in one room, and there's not a fight. You got to be something special to do that, Judge. I want to thank you, because I'm going to tell you, I've had an opportunity, I know, to speak at your drug court. I also came because I wanted to learn, and that's how we really started. We built a relationship. But I can remember one time the judge calling and said, there's a young man I need you to go speak to. And he was in the jail. And I said, I don't recognize that name. He said, you don't know him, but I need you to go speak to him. That's the kind of judge we had, is to give somebody a little hope whenever they're down. You think about what all has gone on through your court system in the 23rd Circuit. These judges never complained about the largest caseload in the state of Alabama. They just continue to serve the people of our state. I can remember a judge had a female that had graduated here locally, had gone to a major university and graduated, and when she came home, she made some bad decisions. Could have thrown the book at her. But what did she do? She said, we're going to rehabilitate you and get you back into society. She's now the #1 purchaser in fashion design in one of our major companies. And Judge, you know who I'm talking about. Without you, that never would have occurred. Judge, you are also someone that was good about letting your needs be known financially. She never hesitated, but I'm telling you this right here. The investment that was made through your courtroom has saved us much more in today's society. And our county is just, we're blessed that you serve this community and for the blessings that you're going to serve in the days ahead. I'll leave you with my favorite Bible verse. It's Joshua 1:9. It says, have not I commanded thee to be strong and of good courage? Be not afraid, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go.
I'm impromptu today. Brenda told me to sit up there. I didn't know I was going to have to speak. But anyway, I want to give an anecdotal story about the wisdom that she displays from the bench. One day I was in her courtroom, and we had a kind of a longer docket that day, and so she finally called my case up, and the opponent I had was an engineer, and he strolls up two banker's boxes worth of documents up there, and her eyes kind of looked at that, and she said, she's sitting there looking at all the other people who hadn't had their case heard that day, and she said, I'm going to say his name was Mr. Smith. You know, Mr. Smith, Attorney Givhan is very learned in the law. I'm going to give you a continuance so you can get an attorney in this case. And his attorney called me, and I knew he didn't have much of a case. And the attorney called me right after that, and I said, has your client figured out he's going to spend more on you than he's going to spend on, we're going to win in this case? He said he already has. We're going to dismiss. So you made that case go away. And it's by recognizing the situation and figuring out what needed to be doing there and giving that wisdom that we need from our judges. So I just appreciate the opportunity to have practice with you, work with you, and crossing over and helping you with your election campaign a few years back. I think the statute of limitations has run on that with me getting in trouble. So thank you, Judge.
I'm Gary Conchin, and I've been a friend of Lynn's, I'm going to call her Lynn, for 40 years. From English Village, when we had to borrow Alabama bond money, $58,230 to buy a house and hope that we could make a house payment, to raising kids together in Grissom. And I tell you, there are I gave a list to Judge Hall. And by the way, she told you 1 minute, she gave me 5. the conversation was, Judge Sherrod was talking, Lynn was talking to Judge Hall, and she said, Gary can't do anything in 5 minutes. Whereupon we've been talking to your wife. We've been talking to your wife. Well, I'm going to keep it short and sweet. There are over 100 accolades, 100 different awards that are on that resume that I've seen it and looked at. Some of the awards that she's been given on national level are not even on that sheet. 100 different accolades, 100 different societies, 100 different groups, mainly on the national level that you've never heard about, because she doesn't brag about it. What I want to talk about briefly is the unofficial attributes. The unofficial attributes. She has great character. What you see is what you get. And importantly, Lynn's character has never changed. Since I've known her 40 years, her character has never changed. Our words can hide our thoughts, but our actions reveal them, okay? To most people, to normal people. Well, Lynn's actions always echoed her words. That is a tremendous attribute that she has. Lynn is one that has always been about fairness. She gave the same justice to the Davids as she did to the Goliaths. She could care less what you brought into the courtroom or where you came from. And she's that way in everyday life. She is fair, and people that seek her counsel know that she is fair, and that's one reason that they seek her counsel. She had no agenda. She could have. Some of the things that she went through to get to where she was, she could have had an agenda. She didn't have an agenda. She was there about people, and she was there to do her job. She wasn't there for any one person or any one group. And if you didn't know that, you found it out when you went in her courtroom. She didn't care what you had in your pockets. She cared what you had in your heart. And she was a really good judge of character when somebody came in front of her about trying to figure out what they had in her heart. All of you lawyers that have practiced know what I'm talking about. Sometimes you just miss it, you take a gamble on somebody, but she was a tremendous judge of character to try to know what's in someone's heart. And she was Ms. Second Chance, Mrs. Second Chance. If you deserved it, you got a second chance. Humility. Above all, Lynn has been humble all of her life. She's not boastful. She's not all puffed up. I never heard anyone in our legal profession say that she had developed the black robe syndrome. Never. She was the same person with a robe on as she was without the robe. And she's been that same person still. She's always believed that God judges you, and we discussed this, on how you treat the little people of the world. And I think that may be true. How you treat the little people, the people that are less fortunate than you. How you treat those people may be how God judges us. This drug court deal, as Joe Biden infamously said to President Obama, is a big deal. That's a big deal. Your children, your siblings, your parents may even, all of these folks in this community have been affected by that drug court. Many people got the second chance instead of just getting locked up and having it on their record. Kindness. She's never, ever been mean-spirited. I don't think there's anybody here, now maybe Eddie might differ. Eddie might tell you something that we don't, but she's never been mean-spirited, and she's never showed us a temper. She knows that the emptier the pot, the quicker the boil, and she's never showed that temper. Temper gets folks in trouble, and pride keeps them there. And she has known that, and she's always known that. And if you did show a temper, she would let you apologize. She would allow you to apologize later on. Scholarship and education. Eddie and Lynn have always been about education. I cannot tell you how many times she leaves the office or has left her office up here, or even now to go meet with some group and to try to push their agenda as far as helping those children. She sponsors them, hundreds and hundreds. All these accolades, these are non-paying deals, okay? Non-paying things. It never was about the money. She believes that ignorance is the primary driver of hate. Ignorance is the primary driver of hate. And so she has tried all her life to be somebody that can be emulated. She has great honor, just great honor, and she has great humor. She laughs with people but not at them. I've never known her to make fun of folks. She's a very spiritual person, very spiritual. Many of you know that, some of you don't. If you're hungry and you're fixing to eat a meal, don't call on her to lead the prayer, because she can out-pray about anybody I've ever seen. They're long and they're good prayers. There was a critically ill lawyer, and I'm going to finish up here. There's a critically ill lawyer that was thumbing through his Bible in a hospital. He was frantically leafing through the pages, and someone asked him why. He said, "I'm looking for loopholes." Well, the judge has known that there are no loopholes. There are no loopholes in the good word, and she always has her Bible. It's on her desk right now. And she's a mentor not only to folks in an educational setting, but folks also in a setting that relates to our relationship with God. I guess in closing, there's some people that make a difference in life. There's some people that don't. There's some people that just trudge along. There's some people that, they're going to be buried. As one judge said recently about a lawyer, he called me over. He said, everybody around here dislikes that guy. His widow's going to have to pay pallbearers. Well, Lynn not going to have to pay pallbearers. They're going to be lined up. They're going to be lined up. She is universally liked. To my friend Lynn, I would just say that the world has been a better place. For you being here, we have been graced with your presence. Not long ago, some of you know that Lynn was very ill, and one doctor gave her a 20% chance to live, 20% chance. She never lost her faith. She had her Bible up there, and she prayed about it, and she said, I'll be all right. She didn't want anybody bothering to come up to see her. I drove all the way to Nashville, and he said, she don't want to see nobody. She probably just didn't want to see me. But Lynn, we love you. This community loves you. And look at here. Look at what you have done. You have accomplished a lot in life. But she's not through yet. She's not through yet. God bless you, Lynn.
I want to tell you all that if I had known all the things I now know about Lynn, I would have been way too nervous to paint that picture. Thank you. Yeah, but I'm going to miss our time together. Our sittings were enjoyable and fun, and we had a good time. And you all know, as I do, that Lynn put her heart and soul in her job, in her life. And I have put a little of mine in this painting, so all right, let's do it.
Let's do it.
I'm humbled and I'm grateful to each of you for your participation this afternoon. As a child growing up in Gadsden, Alabama, I did not have a lawyer role model. I didn't even know a lawyer. I didn't even consider a legal career. The first lady lawyer I came to know was Judy Todd. She was with Sherrod as a tax attorney. And she said, I did this, you can do this too. My mother was Judy Todd's housekeeper. I became a lawyer only after Eddie Sherrod convinced me I was smart enough to actually get into law school, let alone be able to finish. I completed my first 2 years of law school at the University of Houston, Texas. Then he got a job at Alabama A&M University. So we were returned to the great state of Alabama. And I completed my 3rd year of law school at the University of Alabama in Tuscaloosa. Laura and I commuted from Huntsville to Tuscaloosa. Now you got to put that in perspective because keep in mind they had not completed I-65 at that time. Laura was potty trained somewhere along I-59. You see, that was sort of like starting law school twice. I have enjoyed my life as a lawyer. I like lawyers. Now let me say, I brought mine with me this evening so y'all don't need to misbehave. I've actually come full circle from a lawyer to a judge, and now I'm back to being a lawyer. And I must admit, I enjoy what I'm doing. It has not been easy. I've worked with some wonderful people. Now I must mention to you that Joe Cloud gave me the wrong key to the door when I started. He also played a lot of tricks on me. Gary could not. You see, I've known Gary for 40 years, and I knew Mary Ann. Mary Ann was pushing little Gary around in a stroller right past my house so very often, and we raised our children together as they went through school. So all of that was so much fun. In English Village, we were sort of like a family. Brenda was there. Brenda Martin was my neighbor. There were other neighbors there, many of them that are still living there in English Village. This transition has become important to me, but I'm able to enter this chapter of my life because so many of you out there have made it possible. My law partner, Ken Cole. Ken, please stand up. I've just insinuated myself into his family. I have taken them to be my family. Brett Jordan is over here against the wall, and you met Gary earlier. Megan is here somewhere. Megan, where are you? She's back there raising a hand, so she's here also. And I'm very grateful to them for taking me in and allowing me to work in a whole new arena. You see, being a judge is a whole lot different from being a lawyer. As a judge, you don't even get to say much. You just get to sit there and act like you know what you're talking about. I'm so grateful to so many people, starting with Lord Joe Hamilton. Where's Lord Joe? You see, Lord Joe created a position for me. If she had not gotten pregnant with Lucy, I might not have gotten the job. But she did, and I was able to get that job, and Bud Kramer hired me as assistant district attorney. I'm so grateful to all of my friends over at DHR. They shared my vision of making Madison County safer for children of drug-using and drug-abusing parents. I had the best drug court team in the world. That included Don Rizzardi. Yes, there was a kinder, gentler Don Rizzardi at one point. Robin and Jackie Wolf were there. We traveled all over this nation looking at model drug courts before we zeroed in. Traveling with us, and let me tell you, he moonwalked on Miami Beach with Superintendent Ray Swain. Ray, where are you? Over here in the corner. He was superintendent of the Madison County School System, and he went with us on these trips because it was important that every child have an opportunity. He used to always say, who speaks for the children? And I'd say, you speak for the children, Ray, because the children are the ones that were left off at the table. They didn't have a voice, so we had to work for them. Substance abusing parents, they love their children, just as we love our children. But they had to have a helping hand and being able to get a grip on all of that. Tanita Phelps. Tanita was on our drug court team, and now she's in charge of DHR. Tanita's around here somewhere. Tammy, Jose, all of the folks over at New Horizon, they were the people that helped us put all of this together. The late Bob Harrison facilitated us getting the very first grant from the county that we got. Now, I'm gonna be real honest with you. He never let me forget that he was the man that got the money. And we talked about that through the years. So it was just so very important. My child support team, Judge Cleveland came to Huntsville to work for the Madison County District Attorney's Office in the child support unit. There was Kay and Pat and Sheena. They were all there to help make a difference in the lives. Leanne Covington, Tom Asbel, Judy, they were all the people that were in the courtroom helping me. They were the people that made this day possible because they really did all the work. I want to give a special thanks to many of the elected officials whose name we have not called today, but there's one very special person that placed her trust in me. You see, I will never forget the day that she called me on the telephone as I was sitting on the bench to say, I'm going to appoint you presiding municipal court judge. Now, I'm in a courtroom full of people and I could not react or say anything, but Mayor Spencer is here today, and I am so pleased that she was able to join us. Now, let me say, I have bragged for years because when I was appointed municipal court judge, I had a unanimous vote of the Huntsville City Council. So for those of you that don't think it's possible, it happened. But I'm so pleased that we have some members of our city council. My councilwoman is here today, and I'm going to ask her to stand. We have other members of the Huntsville City Council that are here today, and if we do, please stand. I am so very pleased that you took time out of your busy day to come and visit with us. Before you leave, if you get a chance, I want you to take an opportunity to look at these posters that we have here. These posters list those sponsors. You see, many law firms and other people came together to help us put this together. And I'm so very, very pleased to see each of you. If you haven't had a chance to say hello to Eddie, he will say hello to you. Also with me this afternoon is Lisa and Laura. Everybody that knows me know Lisa, they know Laura. Lisa is a graduate of Alabama A&M University. She is a graduate of Texas Southern University. You know Laura, who is a graduate of Tennessee State University. Ed attended the University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff. He attended Jackson State. So if you don't think we support HBCUs, give it another thought. It is my pleasure to tell you that my grandmother is here today. Grandmother, Dolores Swain, and among the things so unique about grandmother, that's her real hair. My sisters, those members of Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority, you know the ladies in the pink and green, please stand up and be recognized. A very special group that has agreed to be the hostesses at the reception, so they're going to be sneaking out shortly, are members of the Greater Huntsville chapter of the Links. I am so pleased that you were able to join us and to take on this. Would all my Link sisters please stand? Now, I need you to join me in a special celebration for today. Today is Judge Karen Hall's birthday. Once again, she's celebrating her 39th birthday. And she was so very kind to share with us these flowers that she received from her son for her birthday today. Judges, lawyers, my sorority members, my family, I've got family here. Some have traveled from great distances to be here. Stand up, family. Now, you know, when I talk about my family, I have a distinction from my biological family, the Sherrods that have come up and become my family, but near and dear to my heart is my church family. You see, God puts you in a certain place for a reason. He put me at St. John for a reason. St. John has supported me through the years. My only regret is that Pastor McCall could not be here today. Pastor McCall was my pastor for almost 40 years. But we have been so fortunate in that the bishop has saw fit to give me a new pastor that's able to spiritually guide not just me, but the entire congregation in Reverend Maurice Wright and my sister, Reverend Rita. Would my church family please stand? Thank you so very much for being here. I extend an invitation to all of you, that includes you, RJ, to join us for a reception that will be held at the Wheaton House. The Wheaton House is only a short walk away. It's about a block from here. It's located at 300 Gate Street. And I hope that you will join me there, and you'll have an opportunity to meet and greet some of these people that I have talked about today. But I have left one group, not because they're at the end, because let me tell you, I married an educator, so education is near and dear to my heart. But I am so pleased that we have with us this afternoon President and Mrs. Hughini, President of Alabama A&M University. Thank you for being here. We have Dr. Karen Ben Marshall from Oakwood University, who is waving back there behind many heads. But for those of you that think she's one of the students, the president of Drake State Community College, Dr. Pat Sims, is here with us today. So, did we leave out anybody? Because all of you are so near and dear to my heart, and I especially appreciate you being here. I appreciate the support you've given me through the years. I am so pleased with the way it turned out. When I spoke to Maggie, I said, Maggie, can you make me look good? She said, I can make you look like Halle Berry. I said, that may be going a little bit too far. Just make me look decent. So thank you, Maggie. Thank you for making me look good. Thank you, Judge Little, for putting the frame together. Thank you so much for bringing Maggie into our lives. We so much appreciate that. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you, thank you, thank you.